How can you find a world-class mentor? So, a lot of people, as they're growing up, they would love to have a mentor. You may have heard the saying that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So, it goes without saying, you should try to find some great people to be around. And one in particular is a mentor. You've probably seen the books and the YouTube creators and influencers who talk about how important it is to get a great mentor, maybe great mentors that they had. But let's face it, a lot of us, we don't know those people. We may not be in the cities where they live. We may not be able to afford the rates that they would charge for mentorship. And some of the people that would be great mentors for us simply are not taking time to mentor. So what do you do about this? How do you find a great mentor? Well, here are 3 considerations. First, one option is to find somebody that fulfills the requirements that you're looking for and try to provide value to them. Maybe that's working at a nonprofit with them. Maybe it's helping them with something. But let's face it, that can be very difficult. Another idea that I heard recently was that artificial intelligence can essentially absorb all of the data related to a particular person, all their writings, their speeches, their stories about them. And once that's absorbed into artificial intelligence, you can have a conversation with them and say, like, hey, Steve Jobs, what would you do in this situation? I don't have the confidence in artificial intelligence at this point to be basing life decisions on something like that. So I'll tell you what I've done. I have wanted to learn from some of the most extraordinary people. And fortunately, I've had opportunity to work alongside some great people, nobody you've known, but if you're looking for a world-class mentor, one of the things that struck me is we have an opportunity these days like never existed in prior decades. We are able to listen to audiobooks and hear the best thinking from world-class thinkers, people who have done extraordinary work and then put the concepts together in books. I'll give you an example. Ray Dalio, who runs a multi-billion-dollar hedge fund, who's had extraordinary success in many categories in life. Does he have time to mentor me? No. In fact, I'd be surprised if he had time to mentor anybody. But what he has done is put together some of his best thinking to pass along to future generations in a book. And in fact, I just listened to the audiobooks. Or let's take somebody like Elon Musk. Many people idolize him and say, hey, he would be an incredible mentor. Well, obviously, he doesn't have time to run this. He's running Tesla, SpaceX, The Boring Company. He's managing the new CEO of Twitter. He has his hands in many other investments. Does he have time to mentor? No. But what we can do is capture interviews of him, presentations by him, stories about him. So as we think about if we are people who don't have access to world-class mentors, we do, though, happen to live in a unique time where you can get some of the best thinking, best conversations, and best speeches right now available on the internet, either for free or through audiobooks. So let's imagine that you are growing up in a family where you don't have many successful people around you. You don't have many wise people or knowledgeable people or educated people around you. In fact, you look at the lives of the people around you and you say, I don't want that. How can you, as an average person, go get a mentor that helps you out of this? Well, what I do is I try to saturate myself and surround myself with the voices of incredible mentors and their best thinking through YouTube videos, podcasts, and audiobooks. So that's a little different approach than actually getting a mentor, but it's a realistic approach that everybody can do. When I was young, I used to think, oh, wouldn't it be amazing if I could sit next to, and then I would name some leader, like be a fly on the wall and hear conversations. Or, say two leaders have conversations between each other. Wouldn't it be incredible if I could listen to that conversation? Well, these days we have that. We have experts who interview other experts. Whether it's Malcolm Gladwell interviewing some famous author or some famous CEO or some famous athlete, being able to listen to those conversations is a virtual way of surrounding ourselves with wise people. So, how can you find a world-class mentor? There are tips on the internet. Maybe you can find them, but a really great second best option is finding what they've written and the discussions they've had and saturating yourself with that, whether you listen to them on walks, while exercising, while driving, whatever you do, finding that wisdom and surrounding yourself with it, that is a great way to offset the fact that a lot of us simply can't find these incredible mentors who will allocate time out of their schedule to help us in our personal lives. I've also observed that although I may not have one mentor in all categories, there are people in my life who I do admire in specific categories. Like, for example, I might admire a person in parenting. I may not think this particular person is great in every category, but in the area of parenting, I can ask that particular person questions. Or a person is good at socializing and conversation, and I could ask that person, when you approach a room where you don't know everybody, what's your mindset? What preparation do you do to have thoughtful and productive conversations and engaging conversations with people? So in other words, we may not have one mentor who has all sorts of wisdom in every category, but to the extent we can find little niche experts in our own lives, that may be possible. And it might be simple things like, how do you enjoy life? How do you stay physically healthy? What have you found works well in raising daughters or in raising sons? Or what has worked well in your relationship and investing in your marriage? All those sorts of questions. You may know people who do that category well, and they at least can provide a mentorship in those particular categories. If you would like more information on me, you can find it at aaronhall.com. You can sign up at aaronhall.com/free if you would like to receive those exclusive training videos for people who are trying to avoid common problems in small businesses. Have a great day.